What's up, people? The Green Mutant Buster here with another quick review vid because these are actually working for my channel. So, I got a PSVR for Christmas. Or maybe I got it several years ago, and I really haven't had much to do with it. So, to my surprise, I recently went online and checked out what's going on with that. And apparently, the best PSVR game available right now is Pixel Rip 1995. Huh, you say? I've never heard of that. Well, the trailer looked cool enough, so I decided to buy it on a whim, because I haven't had anything to do with the PSVR. But wait. Hold up. Apparently, this game is a sequel to Pixel Rip 1989, which is also on the PSVR. So, being a completionist that I am, I needed to play that one first. So I got that one too, and it was alright. It was like the experience of playing Mega Man on the Game Boy. Hey, I'm using this image twice. While at the same time being trapped inside a virtual reality simulation of the music video for Pink Floyd's The Wall. And the annoyance that comes with that. The whole, you don't need no education or thought control, hey bitch, leave those kids alone, but I'm one of those kids right now. Well, anyway. So, the Mega Man experience is a little bit easier than a normal Mega Man game. Except it's hampered by the whole shitty, you're trapped in VR thing, and you're using the shitty VR Game Boy in VR. And it has those typical weak PSVR controls that you might expect. Now, the real challenge to these games is actually keeping the Pink Floyd teacher off your back, with a series of very cartoonish distractions that have to be carefully selected based on how long they're going to distract her for and how long it takes them to refresh to usability again. Anyway, there's not really that much to say about this one. It was short, it was sweet, but it wasn't the easiest on the eyes. Now, in both of the games, you play as Dot Matrix. Really? Who kind of looks like the bastard daughter of Samus Aran from Metroid and Kid Vid from Burger King. Wow, what a freaking corny character. But I will excuse it because the gameplay is good. Now, Pixel Rip 1989 was kind of like a demo of Pixel Rip 1995. And in some ways, they are exactly the same game. Except 1989 has a lot less to offer in terms of the quality and the variety. Now, I'm pretty sure the profits used from selling 1989 were basically used to remake the game as 1995, which again is the same game, except it's also a severely improved sequel/remake of that game. Now, 1995, on the other hand, that is the real deal. It's extremely legitimate as far as an experience goes. I think the one thing that bummed me out when I was playing 1989 is that I can stand to play old school 8-bit black and white games, but doing that in VR is just kind of yucky. And at least with 1995, it was a full color old school game experience, and that was pretty cool. Now, there were some parts set inside the in-game world itself, and I have to say those were actually really cool. Like, standing there in that weird VR house, like, that was so fresh and unique for me. I've never seen that in VR before, and that actually made me really wish that someone would do a 3D remake of Chrono Trigger in the same style. But yeah, this game was totally cool. Like, it had all these interesting 90s video games meets 90s reality vibes. And what especially got to me as probably the best moment of the entire game was there's this really clever and interesting scene inside a Blockbuster. And honestly, that did give me this sad nostalgia feeling because I haven't stood in a real Blockbuster probably since the 90s. And just standing in one again, like... Okay, I remember, like, as a kid, there was the Donkey Kong Country tournament, and the nearest Blockbuster to me was 3 towns over. And my mom took me out there to go and play it. Like, being inside this Blockbuster again made me just want to walk to the next aisle and see what random assortment of Ranma 1/2 VHSs they had in stock. But anyway, this game was great. There was this intense mix of these various different genres and styles. So you get all these different games that rip off like Metroid and Sonic and Knuckles and Star Fox and Castlevania 4, Final Fight, Donkey Kong Country, and then lastly Crash Bandicoot. But it still has like really cool original elements, and it also has that overall Mega Man vibe that 1989 had. Now, the only narrative connection between the two games is that even though one is a sequel to the other, pretty much the same shit happens in both games. Now, the protagonist of 1989 does make a very minor cameo in 1995, but you would only know that if you had just played 1989 like I just did. Now, I should probably also bring up at this point that both games have ugly as hell human characters. Like, those are the hardest things you have to swallow about this series. And again, 1989 traps you with endless Pink Floyd people. 1995, on the other hand, has this very not quite lovable Latina mom from Milwaukee.
Maybe get a swing set in the backyard. Oh, a tree house. David would love a tree house. Oh, I'm sorry, what was I saying?
And it's like, yo, lady, pick an accent, alright? Now, despite that, this was a really solid game, and it really pulled at very specific nostalgia heartstrings that I just happened to have almost all of. Now, in the end, even though I did play 1989 too, I'm gonna say skip that one. Like, I would only go out of my way to play it if you really love playing Mega Man on the Game Boy, and you always wanted the experience of living through the abusive Pink Floyd British elementary school that you might have seen on TV at one time. Everything 1989 does, 1995 does more better and more fantastically. Now, if you have a PSVR or some other VR doohickey where it's available, you actually should really give Pixel Rip 1995 a shot. It breaks into a lot of fresh ground in terms of what you can do with classic video game assets just by putting them in VR. So yeah, that's my review of this one. I'm the Mune Buster. If you want to see more reviews of PSVR shit, please comment on my page, because I still need 601 subscribers to get out of YouTube hell prison. Okay, thank you. Peace.